This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, miniatures, and paints, discount prices at miniaturemarket.com. Hello everybody, it's your old pal Rob. Today we're going to be talking about a game from Greg Porter, the guy who did, who worked on Armageddon War from Flying Pig Games, a game I really love and it's just really a fantastic game. He sent me an advanced copy, a prototype of Iceland, Settlement to Independence, 872 to 1944, the end of the World War II. This is a pretty interesting game in how it plays out. I'm not going to go over all the rules, but I'm going to give you an idea of what's going on here and how this kind of works and how interesting this is. So let's go down to the table, take a look at it, and then we'll come back up and I'll give you my thoughts. Okay, so I'm going to give you a quick overview of this. This is really interesting. You're going to be trying to get these improvement points, okay? You're going to start at 0, but depending on how many players that you play, it's going to determine how many improvement points that as a group that you have to achieve to ultimately win the game, okay? But also, and this is where, you know, it becomes very interesting, is that if there's 3 of you and you need 35 improvement points between the 3 of you, you are going to be moving up this track. And once you're there, that means that you've created independence for Iceland itself at the end of the very deck here. Because the game ends the minute this card comes out, which is World War II. The game ends, all ports, each towns, and so forth and so on, generate a certain amount of this, that, and the other, and then you're going to total up your improvement points. If you have over the number, for the number of players that you have, the game ends successfully. If you do not, everybody loses. But the real interesting part of it is, yeah, you may have won as a group, but who won as an individual? Now, each player is going to be known as a chieftain. Now, there's a word for it, and I can't unfortunately say it. And then each turn, somebody's going to be elected as the law speaker. So you have your chieftain, everybody's chieftains, and then you are going to have your law speakers. There are certain words for it in Iceland, which in Icelandic language. Of course, I can't say it, and I always have a problem. But the thing that's going to generate this is that you're going to have a certain amount of gold, and you're going to have to spend that gold because you're only allowed to carry over a certain amount of gold each and every turn. You cannot, if you go over, you have to discard it all the way down. It becomes wasted gold. So as you go on this track, you're going to be given more gold to spend, but you have to get down to a certain amount. As you build improvements, you can also lose improvements. So it's going to mess up how you do that. And nothing messes you up more than these cards that are going to be turned. You're going to have 14 cards that are going to play the entire game through. And one of the neat things about it, and I've got these kind of separated, is that somewhere in there through each age, through the Dark Age, the Middle Ages, and the Industrial Era, there's some things that aren't going to happen really well because, as we know, Iceland has a ton of volcanoes, okay? And they have erupted throughout history, which is going to disrupt what you're going to be trying to do as you're trying to build certain settlements, keep certain ports, trying to keep sheep production or forestry. All these different things that you're going to do to try to, to get improvement values that are going to help you up, which is spelled out here very easily and very, so you know what's going on. There's also fisheries and stuff like that, and you can combine and help each other. But as you turn these cards over, there's going to be certain things that are going to happen. The first card is always the settlement card, and then you start working 3 cards to that particular age. All chieftains with sheep gain 1 gold. Well, that's a good thing, okay? Good weather. But there are also things that'll happen that'll take conflict, like this one here. conflicts this turn are resolved by bids instead of fixed costs. Current owners bid to retain control of certain things. So you can lose control. Like I said, you're going to be losing improvement points. And you'll go through the different ages. There'll be sometimes volcanoes in there. There's the dark ages. You'll have to go through the industrial age. And the thing that really makes this very interesting is the fact that there's enough cards that you're never going to know what type of industrial cards might be there. I believe you get 6 cards. You have to take 3 of them. The rest go into the box as you're setting up your deck. So you end up working with a total of 14 cards. The last card is always ends the game, which is the World War II game. So there's going to be a lot of things where you're going to be working, where maybe you have sheep and you say, you know something, I'm going to get out of here, and it may apply to a certain event that is going to happen. And if you go, you can actually make somebody lose something by saying, well, I'm not going to be here anyways. You may want to do this because it's going to better myself, and I'm not going to stick around because I know I'm going to lose a certain amount of points and things like that in certain settlements. You're going to have all these different territories that you're going to be working in and trying to, again, improve as much as you can to get to that point where you can end the game successfully with Iceland's independence. There's also some beautiful cards in here, which if you have, of course, you're awarded to the priest who controls 4 or more sheep, awarded to the priest who or chieftain who controls 5 or more towns. So there's certain objectives that you're going to want to do that are going to give you a certain amount of victory points at the end that are going to help you. So you have to try to figure out how you're going to get the maximum points to win the game, but also help and get the improvement points so someone will actually win instead of everybody loses, which I think is brilliant. So, brief overview of it, but let's go up top. And I've got a lot more to say about this, and then we will get on out of here. Now, I didn't explain everything, and I'm not sure when this is going to Kickstarter or GameFound, as I wrote a letter, and as of the taping of this video, I did not get an answer back, but I will put it in the comments and in the description to make sure that you know when this actually goes live. This is really interesting. The thing is, there is a sense of working together, okay, kind of doing things together, and then and the reason you have to do that is because you have to get a certain amount of improvement points as a group, whether it's 3, 4, or 5 player, to gain Iceland's independence. If you don't do that, then everybody loses the game. But the struggle here is if somebody gets out too far and you're there, do you try to pull him back and try to move yourself? Because it's also whoever the chieftain is that has the most points wins the game. Okay, so there's a really weird balance to it, and it's really very interesting. And you got to try to get all this done before that card comes out. The World War II card comes out that is going to end the game right then and there. So there's a lot of strategy involved. There's a lot of negotiation involved, and working together, but not really working together. And I really like what this does, and how it does it. Again, everything is in prototype form. So once this funds, for a prototype, this is absolutely gorgeous. So I really suggest this. Greg Porter's always been very, very good at what he does, and he does it as well as anyone. And I'm telling you right now, this is something that really fascinates me because it really gives you an in-depth history of what Iceland was. So taking it all the way through the ages, but not making it this long, drawn-out thing, and just a lot of fun. And that's what it's all about, fun. You're going to want to keep your eyes out for it. I will keep you updated as I get more information. Iceland, settlement to independence. This is really good. Check it out. Until next time, it's your old pal Rob. We'll see you soon, everybody.